You've got to check yourself, hold up a mirror and ask, am I telling the truth or am I telling a story that makes me feel better? Be honest. Because if you're not honest with yourself, who will be? The world's not going to hold your hand. Life's not going to stop and wait for you to get motivated. The clock keeps ticking whether you're grinding or sleeping. And every second spent explaining why you can't is a second you could have spent figuring out how you can. Let me break it down even further. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. So it will try to protect you from pain, discomfort, fear, and failure. That's where excuses are born, from the survival part of your brain trying to keep you safe. But greatness doesn't live in safety. Growth lives in stretching yourself, in getting uncomfortable, in doing what others won't so you can have what others don't. That's why you got to override the excuses with purpose. You need a why that punches harder than your excuses. You got to want that dream more than you want to stay comfortable. You got to be so committed that no excuse, no matter how good it sounds, can sway you from your mission. And let me tell you something. Those excuses, they don't care about your goals. They don't care about your future. They don't care if you stay broke, lost, confused, or unfulfilled. Excuses only care about one thing, keeping you exactly where you are. They are the enemy in disguise. And the more you entertain them, the more you empower them. Don't let your story become one of almost and what ifs. Don't be the person who had the talent, the vision, the passion, but couldn't break up with their excuses. Don't be the one who watches others win and says, I could have done that, but never did. That regrets? That heavier than any excuse you could ever carry. Some people say, but Ari, you don't know what I've been through. You're right, I don't. But I know this, pain is either going to be your prison or your platform. It's either going to keep you stuck or push you forward. You can either use your story to excuse yourself from becoming great, or you can use it to fuel your rise. The choice is yours. You think you're the only one dealing with hard stuff? You think champions haven't gone through hell and back? You think legends haven't had moments of doubt, fear, failure? Of course they have, but they didn't let their pain become their excuse. They let it become their reason, their fuel, their fire. I was homeless. I ate out of trash cans. I had every reason to make excuses, every reason to quit, but I didn't. Because I wanted to win more than I wanted to wallow. I wanted to make my mom proud more than I wanted to feel sorry for myself. I chose greatness over guilt, discipline over drama. And if I can do it, broken, lost, abandoned, then so can you. But only if you stop making excuses. You want to lose weight? Then stop saying, I don't have time. Wake up earlier, stay up later, make time. You want to start that business? Then stop saying, I don't know how. Learn, study, ask questions. You want to be a leader? Then stop saying, I'm not good enough. Get better, level up, rise. Nobody's coming to save you. That's the harsh truth. Nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you opportunity. Nobody owes you understanding. You've got to earn every step of it. And that starts with killing your excuses. You've got to treat every excuse like an enemy trying to rob your destiny. Because that's exactly what it is. You've got to confront it, challenge it, say, no, not today. I've got too much riding on this. My dream matters too much. My legacy matters too much. You've got to remind yourself that the world doesn't reward excuses. It rewards execution. And listen, I'm not saying life is fair. It's not. Some people start with more. Some have it easier, but so what? Are you going to let that be your excuse? Or are you going to grind twice as hard? Are you going to cry about the mountain, or are you going to climb it? You've got to get to a point where your dream is so big, so powerful, so necessary that it burns through every excuse like fire through paper. You've got to be so locked in that nothing can stop you. Not fear, not fatigue, not failure. Excuses keep you small. They keep you invisible. They keep you powerless. But when you drop the excuses, you pick up your power. You pick up your responsibility. You pick up your vision and say, let's go. No more blaming, no more stalling, no more waiting. It's go time. Don't wait until you feel ready. You may never feel ready. Don't wait for perfect conditions. They may never come. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start now, because every step you take without an excuse is a step toward your destiny. You've got to develop a mindset that refuses to tolerate excuses. That means when your mind says, I'm too tired, you say, we don't operate off feelings, we operate off commitment. When your mind says it's too hard, you say, so what? I do hard things. When your mind says, I can't, you say, watch me. The only thing standing between you and your dream is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it. Change the story, rewrite the narrative. Make it one of resilience, not retreat, one of power, not pity. And don't just hold yourself accountable. Surround yourself with people who call out your excuses. You don't need friends who co-sign your weaknesses. You need teammates who challenge your greatness, who said, nah, that ain't good enough. You said you wanted this, act like it. Excuses will ruin your relationships, your finances, your health, your happiness. They are the termites of the soul, eating away at everything solid until all you have left is dust. And one day, you look back and realize you were the one holding yourself back the whole time. Don't let that be your story. Choose effort. Choose execution. Choose excellence. Every time you silence an excuse, you strengthen your resolve. Every time you act instead of explaining, you grow. Every time you fight through the urge to quit, you evolve. That's the process. That's the formula. That's beast mode. Because in beast mode, there are no excuses. Only results, only purpose, only action. And that's where you belong. Success is not for the weak. It's not for the ones who show up only when they feel like it. It's not for those who wait for the stars to align, for the perfect day, the perfect mood, the perfect timing. Success belongs to the warriors, the grinders, the ones who show up every single day, rain or shine, pain or peace, hell or high water. The ones who show up not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. See, when you think of success, you think of the result, the car, the house, the money, the status. But what you don't see is the grind, the blood, the sacrifice, the discipline, the moments behind the curtain when nobody was watching. That's the part people skip. That's the part people overlook. They don't see the pain. They don't see the discipline. They don't see the tears that come with showing up when your body is broken, when your spirit is tired, when your mind is screaming, stop. But the warrior shows up anyway. The grinder says, let's go. They don't make excuses. They don't negotiate with pain. They don't fold under pressure. They rise in it. They don't just go through the fire. They become the fire. You think success is given? You think it's handed out to anyone with a dream and a vision board? No. Success is earned in the dark, in the silence. It's earned when you show up early, leave late, and give more than anyone expects. It's earned when you push past limits, when you break through barriers, when you stare your weakness in the face and say, you're not strong enough to stop me. Because the truth is, the path to success will break you before it builds you. It will test everything you say you want. It will call your bluff. It will ask you, do you really want this? Or are you just pretending? And if you're weak, if you're soft, it will spit you out. But if you're a warrior, if you got that beast inside you that refuses to quit, then you will rise. You will evolve. You will conquer. Success demands something deep from you. It demands your consistency. It demands your grit. It demands your resilience. That's why most people never taste real success, because it requires more than talent, more than ambition. It requires obedience to the grind, loyalty to the mission, faithfulness to the process, even when the process hurts. You see, everybody wants success, but not everybody wants to suffer for it. Not everybody wants to bleed for it. Not everybody wants to put in the thousands of hours when nobody's clapping, when nobody's calling, when nobody's praising. But that's where success is born in silence, in struggle, in solitude. The weak, they want the glory, but they don't want the grind. They want the prize, but they don't want the pain. They want the spotlight, but not the sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. You don't get the reward without the war. You don't get the breakthrough without the breakdown. You don't get the success without showing up every single day and doing the work, especially when it hurts. The warriors, they don't care about the conditions. They don't care if it's cold, if it's raining, if they're tired. They don't care if they're hungry, if they hurt, if they hate it on. They show up because they made a vow to themselves. They made a decision to go all in. They made a promise that no matter what it takes, they're not stopping until they win. You want to be successful? Then stop negotiating with your circumstances. Stop letting your feelings make decisions for your future. Stop being inconsistent with your grind. The warrior mindset says, I may not feel like it, but I still show up. The grinder says, I may be in pain, but I still put in work. The beast says, I may be doubted, but I'm still destined. You don't need perfect conditions to be great. You just need a committed heart, a focused mind, a disciplined soul. You just need to show up when most people would stay down. You just need to push when most people will pause. The difference between winners and wishes, the wishes stop when it's hard. The winners keep going. The wishes take breaks. The winners take territory. The wishers wait for motivation. The winners are driven by purpose. Success isn't just about talent. There are a million talented people who never made it because they were soft, because they didn't have that killer instinct, that dog in them, that unwillingness to be denied. But the grinders, the warriors, they take what they want because they've already paid the price with effort. You've got to be willing to fight for it. I'm talking war. I'm talking showing up to the battlefield of life every single day with your boots laced and your heart armored. I'm talking about waking up when you don't want to, practicing when it's boring, repeating the basics when your ego says you're too advanced, because that's what warriors do. They humble themselves to the process. They embrace the struggle. They welcome the pain because they know that pain is producing power. Every rep, every step, every sacrifice. It's not just about grinding, it's about becoming. You're not just chasing success. You're becoming the type of person who can handle success. Because the truth is, if you're not strong enough to endure the process, you'll never be strong enough to handle the promise. Success has weight, and only those who've been built in the gym of adversity can carry it. Only those who've trained in the shadows can shine in the spotlight. Only those who've suffered in silence can lead in greatness. The weak, they get tired and quit. The warriors, they get tired and dig deeper. The grinders, they get tired and switch gears. They find a way to keep going because quitting is not in their DNA. Surrender is not in their vocabulary. You got to get it through your head. This is war. Not a playground, not a game. This is life, and life will hit you. Life will try to break you. Life will test you to see if you really want what you say you want. And if you're weak, you'll fold, but if you're strong, you'll rise. When life knocks you down, you don't cry, you don't complain, you don't post about it. You get up and go harder. You use the pain as fuel. You use the setback as set up. You use the failure as focus. You've got to want it so bad that even your excuses start to feel ashamed. You've got to want it so bad that no rejection, no betrayal, no loss. You've got to want it so bad that sleep becomes a luxury and quitting becomes a curse. Success is for the committed, not the casual. Success is for the relentless, not the relaxed. Success is for the one who is willing to pay the price every day without question, without complaint, without pause. You've got to become obsessed with improvement, obsessed with growth, obsessed with getting better. Every single day, while others are distracted, you stay focused. While others are playing, you're preparing. While others are giving up, you're grinding up. The truth is, warriors don't wait for perfect conditions, they create them. They don't wait for opportunity, they build it. They don't wait for motivation, they manufacture it. You have to rise above comfort, rise above convenience, rise above emotion. Your feelings don't get to decide your future. Your faith does. Your work does, your hustle does. You've got to step into every day like it's your last chance, like the clock is ticking and time is running out. Because it is. Life isn't waiting for you to get ready. Life isn't slowing down because you're scared. Life is moving. And if you're not moving with it, you're being left behind. This is not about talent. It's not about connections. It's not about luck. It's about heart. It's about fire. It's about endurance. Can you keep going when everything around you says quit? Can you rise when everything inside you says rest? The real ones, they don't complain about the grind. They embrace it. They know the grind is where character is built, where strength is born, where destiny is shaped. You want success? You better be ready to earn it, to sweat for it, to bleed for it, to cry for it. Because nothing worth having comes cheap. Nothing powerful comes without pressure. You are being forged. Every challenge is shaping you. Every failure is refining you. Every moment you choose discipline over comfort, you are becoming the warrior you were born to be. This life, this dream, it doesn't belong to the weak. It belongs to the ones who refuse to give up, the ones who don't need applause to keep going, the ones who keep showing up even when they're invisible. So stop playing small. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for easy. Instead, wake up, lock in, and declare, I'm built for this. I'm made for this. I am the warrior. I am the grinder, and I show up no matter what. You don't get to greatness by accident. You don't wake up one day, roll out of bed, and suddenly find yourself standing at the peak of success. That's not how it works. Greatness is earned. It is demanded. It requires pain, persistence, and power from within. It requires you to take complete ownership over your journey, to stop blaming, stop complaining, and start grinding. When you hear someone say, own your life, they're not giving you a motivational quote to smile at and move on from. They're telling you the truth, the raw, uncut, unapologetic truth. If your life isn't where you want it to be, it's not your boss' fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not the system. It's not your background. It's not where you were born. It's you. Own it. Own every choice, every habit, every action, every thought, every second you waste or invest. That's what separates the beast from the average. The beast stops pointing fingers and starts pointing the way. The beast doesn't say, I could have made it if only this hadn't happened. The beast says, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for things to line up. But warriors don't wait, they create. They take responsibility for their situation and start working on the solution. And guess what? That solution starts with you. Your decisions shape your destiny. Your habits create your reality. And if you're not willing to take ownership of those things, you'll always be at the mercy of someone else's plan. You'll always be a character in someone else's story instead of the author of your own. There are people who will spend their entire life blaming their lack of success on something or someone outside themselves. And then there are people who take control, step up, and say, if it is to be, it's up to me. That's ownership. That's beast mode. Look, there are going to be days you don't feel like it. Days when it would be so much easier to just stay in bed, skip the gym, avoid the work. Days when your mind says, it's okay to take it easy, but the beast inside you has to rise up and say, not today. Because the beast understands something most people don't. Discipline is the bridge between goals and greatness. You want to change your life? Take ownership of your morning. Don't hit snooze. Get up, move your body, feed your mind, set the tone. Because how you start your day determines how you live your life. And every day is a vote for the person you're becoming. Own your habits, own your thoughts, own your attitude. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. You can choose strength over weakness, growth over comfort, responsibility over blame. Ownership means you stop waiting for the rescue team, you become your own rescue team. You don't sit around hoping someone will come fix your life. You build the mindset, the skill set, and the work ethic to fix it yourself. And when life hits you, because it will hit you, you don't fold. You don't break. You adapt. You adjust. You overcome. Because beasts aren't defined by what happens to them. They're defined by how they respond. Ownership is brutal. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to look in the mirror and be honest about what you've been avoiding. But that's where the power is. That's where the breakthrough begins. That's where the transformation happens. You will never rise higher than your level of personal accountability. You want big results? Take big responsibility. Own your focus, own your energy, own your execution. You can't have excuses and excellence in the same space. One will always cancel the other. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep telling yourself the same story about why you can't? Or are you gonna write a new story about how you did? Your goals don't care about your excuses. Your future doesn't care about your comfort zone. Success only answers to the voice of ownership. And if you want to be great, you got to speak that language. Be relentless. Be ruthless with your excuses. Be obsessed with accountability. Don't let yourself off the hook. Don't lower your standards to match your feelings. Raise your actions to match your vision. Every day, ask yourself, am I owning my time, my choices, my results? Because the truth is, if you're not owning them, someone else is. And they're using your power to build their dream while you sit on the sideline. You have a choice. You can keep blaming, or you can start building. You can keep complaining, or you can start conquering. But you can't do both. You want beast mode? Then own your life. Every second, every decision, every outcome. That's where greatness begins. So now the question is simple. What are you going to do with this power? Because owning your life isn't a one-time event. It's a daily decision. It's waking up every morning and choosing to take full control over your actions, your mindset, your grind, your growth. It's being brutally honest with yourself, holding yourself to a higher standard, and refusing to settle for anything less than your full potential. The beast doesn't wait for a perfect moment, it creates it. It doesn't wait for permission, it takes it. And as sure as hell doesn't let excuses hold the pen to its story. This is your time, this is your fight, this is your life. Own it. Activate the beast and never ever look back. There will be storms, there will be setbacks, there will be pain, but that pain, if owned, becomes power. That struggle, if faced, becomes strength. Every scar is a story of survival. Every hardship is a chance to grow. This is not about never falling. It's about rising every single time. Ownership means you never hand your power over to circumstances. You hold on to it. You wield it. You use it to forge a path that's yours and yours alone. When you take that kind of responsibility, nothing can stop you for long. You may stumble, you may crawl, but you will keep moving. Because a beast knows the journey is long, but quitting is not an option. The beast is committed to growth. It learns from every failure, adapts to every challenge, and never lets comfort kill its calling. Beast mode is not hype. It's not a slogan. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up with purpose. Training like your life depends on it. Speaking to yourself with truth, not pity. Pushing past limits others bow to. Every single moment you own it, because you understand that mediocrity is a mindset, and so is mastery. Choose mastery. Choose effort over excuses. Action over apathy. Fire over fear. Most people talk, be the one who acts. Most people dream, be the one who does. Beast mode isn't about perfection, it's about ownership. Relentless, consistent ownership. You stop blaming your past and start building your future. You stop waiting to be discovered and start doing what it takes to be undeniable. You stop reacting and start creating. This is not a game, this is your life, the only one you get. And the beast in you doesn't want to waste it. The beast in you wants to rise, roar, and reign. But that only happens when you own every piece of the process. So let the world watch. Let the doubters doubt. Let the haters hate. But you grind. You grow. You evolve. You conquer. And you do it not because it's easy, but because you decided to own it all. Own your wins. Own your losses. Own your evolution. Own your greatness. Beast mode activated, and now there's no turning back. And now we come to the final moment, the moment of truth, because everything you've just heard, everything you've just felt, everything you've been challenged to understand means nothing if you don't take the next step. And the next step is not about hype. It's not about being motivated for 5 minutes or an hour. The next step is transformation. The next step is action. The next step is ownership on a whole new level. Because beast mode activated isn't a switch you flip for the gym or a phrase you chant to pump yourself up before a big event. No, beast mode is a decision. It's a code. It's a commitment to yourself that you will not go back to being average. You will not go back to blaming others. You will not go back to fear, to comfort, to excuses. Because once the beast is activated, there's no shutting it down. You see, average people keep wishing, but the beast keeps working. Average people ask for the blueprint, the beast becomes the architect. Average people look for signs, the beast becomes the signal. And when life throws obstacles in the path, when the world tells you no, when the circumstances are stacked against you, that's when a beast comes alive. That's when ownership becomes your weapon. That's when you take your pain and turn it into power. That's when your scars become your armor. You don't ask, why is this happening to me? You declare, this is happening for me. And that shift, that's what puts you in a class of your own. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them mock. Because while they wasting time judging, you're busy building. While they clapping back online, you're creating legacy in real life. While they're sleeping in, you're putting in reps in the gym, in your mind, in your hustle, in your grind. Beast mode doesn't need validation. It runs on vision, it runs on mission, it runs on hunger. And that hunger, that fire, it doesn't die with failure, it grows with resistance. It multiplies with setbacks, it sharpens with each challenge, because the beast knows the greater the pressure, the more valuable the diamond. And you're becoming that diamond. You're under pressure for a reason. You're not breaking, you're becoming. You're not buried, you're being built. Every rejection, every disappointment, every delay, it's shaping you. It's sculpting the version of you that can handle what you've asked for. because you don't want success you can't sustain. You don't want wins you didn't earn. You don't want blessings that turn into burdens because you didn't do the inner work. That's why ownership matters. That's why accountability is the key. Because beast mode is not about short-term hype. It's about long-term legacy. And legacy is built when no one is watching. When you're working in silence. When you're grinding in darkness. When you're studying, sacrificing, sweating, and showing up even when no one claps. That's the beast. It doesn't need the lights to be on. It doesn't need the applause. It just needs the mission. And every time you own your day, your choices, your grind, you're leaving a mark. A mark that says, I was here, I lived, I gave everything, I did not waste my shot. Because the biggest tragedy in life is not failure. The biggest tragedy is regret. And when you live in beast mode, regret has no room to breathe. Now hear me. This isn't going to be easy. In fact, the moment you activate beast mode, life might hit harder. People might walk away. Distractions might multiply. Challenges might increase. But don't take that as a sign to stop. Take it as proof you're on the right path. Pressure is the gatekeeper to greatness, and pain is the price of purpose. If you want extraordinary results, you've got to put in extraordinary effort. You got to be willing to do what 99% won't so you can live like 1% do. That means owning every hour. That means owning every decision. That means standing firm even when you're scared. It means betting on yourself even when no one else will. Because the beast doesn't ask for certainty. The beast creates certainty through action, through discipline, through consistency, through mindset. Every single day you have the chance to vote for the person you want to become. And it doesn't matter how many times you fall, as long as you keep getting back up. Strong. That's what makes you unstoppable. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. So right now, this is your moment. This is not just the end of a speech. This is the start of your next level. Don't just walk away inspired. Walk away committed. Don't just nod your head, move your feet, make the changes, cut the excuses, embrace the challenge, run into the storm, because that's where your greatness lives. Inside the resistance, inside the heart, inside the responsibility you've been avoiding. This is your wake-up call, your reminder, your roar. Stop waiting, start owning. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand it to you. It's yours. But you've got to claim it with your actions, with your heart, with your grind. Activate that beast. Show the world what it looks like when a human being takes full responsibility for their life. Show them what happens when someone stops playing small and starts playing full out. Show them what unstoppable really looks like, not in words, but in results, in hustle, in transformation. Because when the beast is activated, the world takes notice. Not because you said you would, but because you showed up day after day, relentless, focused, driven, and unshakable. And that right there is what changes lives. That is what changes legacies. And that is how you prove to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that you were built for this, that you were born for more, that nothing, absolutely nothing can stop you. Beast mode activated permanently. Let's go.